You lose game 1, oh well. It could almost be a warm-up match in many respects.
My goodness. So again, going to be kind of an interesting spawn location for Spanishiwa. Drewbie going to be starting here in the 3 o'clock position as the blue Terran. Going to have Spanishiwa starting in the 6 o'clock as the yellow Zerg again. So again, sharing a third. We'll see how this plays out in Spanishiwa's favor or in Drewbie's favor. It could be interesting.
I mean, the nice thing for Spanishiwa, normally this is like a really, really bad situation for Zerg, but obviously with the style that he uses, it doesn't affect him as much because he's so good in the early game at defending those early rushes, as we saw last game. Granted, if he can't get that third up again, that's pretty much going to be GG for him once again, but I'm going to be curious to see what, Drewbie obviously starting his wall off there. Going to be curious to see how Drewbie reacts again once he sees that Spanishiwa is in that close ground position, because obviously for these guys they don't really get to experience it that often because it's most of the people use the MLG version of this map, so you can't actually have these spawn locations anymore. But should be interesting to see Spanishiwa use his style once again to hold off if Drewbie does choose to go for an early aggression to do.
Right. And, I mean, Drone going to be coming up here and finding where Drewbie is, so he's going to at least have a heads up. You can see that he isn't going for the hatch this time. For starters, he hadn't quite put it down, and you can kind of see some disdain with that comment.
Yeah, I was like, oh boy. So he's probably like, man, I got unlucky twice in a row, but, I mean, he did choose the map, so I know.
And he's going to go for the hatch anyways, so that's an interesting choice. I mean, a lot of times we'll see a Zerg player with these spawn locations go with a spawning pool first, then hatch, but he's choosing to go the hatch regardless. And it did it a drone early this time. I mean, obviously last time we saw it at 16, he's putting down at 15. That may make a little bit of a difference. But I mean, we'll see Orbital Command coming in now for Drewbie, and spawning pool coming in as well.
Yeah, Spanishiwa, I mean, he's going to get the 2 hatches out early so he can produce more queens, because obviously, as we saw last game, he loves that heavy queen style, but, it's going to be interesting to see if that's going to work for him this time again or not. I mean, Drewbie obviously will be actually looking like he might go for a fast expand here. He's got the SCV hanging out right by his natural. Yeah, he's going to do the fast expand, so 1 Rax fast expand build out of Drewbie. Going for an economic play here. Going to be make it more interesting for us. So Spanishiwa, first set of Marines just kind of creeping in here, so waiting for the Zerglings to pop out. He's going to get a little bit of advantage, pick off some drones maybe, but going to try the bunker thing again.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the build time extended on that, it makes it a little bit harder to do, but at the same time, it's just so much ample mining time that these drones are being removed from. Unfortunately, Zerglings don't have the speed to do this, so they do take down the SCV. That's going to stop this rush, and 1 Marine being picked, but again, these drones need to be called back. There we go, finally turned back around, and going to be put on that line. So Lings are out to defend it. No speed increase coming yet. Spine Crawler going down as well, but Command Center almost finished as well, along with a bunker going down, so a little bit of a forward defensive line going up here. Double refineries down, so going to be seeing a little bit of a tech switch, potentially going mech or Banshees. We'll see what happens, but with the amount of queens that Spanishiwa produces, obviously Banshee's not going to be exactly the wisest choice, so we'll see what he does indeed do. Zergling's going to be potentially making a push here. Bunker going to be finished maybe in time. Only 3 Marines out, but with that bunker finished, that'll help. And yeah, Spanishiwa just going to be backtracking back home and going for a quick third, it looks like.
I mean, if he can get his third up this time, I mean, that's obviously a good choice in the back door. Now that they have the rocks there, it's a little bit easier for him to defend. I mean, if he wants to push out from that direction later, he can. He just has to break the rocks and get another. He'll have another access to Drewbie's natural there. So, I mean, pretty solid idea for a third. I mean, that's really going to be the key thing here for him if he can get a third and hold it before Drewbie does, because that was what made a huge difference last time. So he just couldn't get that third and keep it. So, we'll see. I mean, pretty much the same Spanishiwa style. Queen's got a spine crawler out to defend. Still no gas. I mean, just standard Spanishiwa. The play that everybody loves to watch. So, see how... Oop, there's the gas. So he's, yeah, all 4 at once, just like last time. So
yeah, we're seeing Drewbie actually crank out Hellions this time around. I'm going to try to get Spanishiwa killed off early here and not even allow the roaches to spawn up. We'll see if that happens. But again, we do see a starport coming out. Tech Lab has been built or will be finished here, and we'll see if he switches to go for something else. I'm assuming he's going to stay with the medevac and go with Marines. So we're going to be keeping that rolling. Third is going to be exposed here shortly by the Zerglings. Obviously, this takes forever to do, but once it's done, it's going to be a great asset for Spanishiwa. Obviously, unless you're going by air with the dropship or something like that, you're going to have to break these rocks down. That's going to help him secure his third. But again, sharing that third is just ridiculous. 4 Hellions moving in now. 2 Queens going to hold it back. Transfuse obviously going to be used, but 1 creep tumor was removed. That'll be easily replaced. And
yeah, just a matter of getting enough energy. So. Getting his lair out. Drewbie, of course, getting a stim pack going on now as well, so he's going to be sticking with that.
Look at this. Dropship moving in now. Going to be dropping 4 Hellions into the main. It looks like Overlord is going to spot it early, but again, can the Queens backtrack? He actually does not have anything else besides that Overlution Chambers have spawned. The Spawning Pool actually going to help stop some of these stop the Hellion movement anyways. Queens coming in, but again, they're so slow, and with 4 Hellions coming in, oh... man, that might be... gonna get a lot of drones here, but unfortunately just not enough.
Yeah, I was thinking if he had gone in the other way, he just got unlucky. He picked the side that was pretty much walled off the way that Spanishiwa had built. I mean, if he had come in from the other direction, he probably would have gotten quite a bit more drones, but just got unlucky. It was kind of like a coin flip thing. He just chose the wrong path. So
yeah, Marines actually tried to come in here and back it up, but was a little bit late on the draw, so didn't gain very much ground. So we'll see what's going on. Melee attack and armor being researched right now for Spanishiwa. Speed just now finishing up as well, but Infestor Pit on the way. Siege mode being worked on currently. So Overseer going to move in here, going to check things out. Obviously going to see all this, and pretty much Spanishiwa are going to know how to react.
Drewbie, of course, is kind of camped out right outside that natural with the 2 medevacs and his Marine force, but Spanishiwa has gone and taken that third, so that's building right now. As long as he can hold it, it should be that little bit that he's looking for to keep things going, but we'll see.
Yeah,
Drewbie just going to get a quick skin, going to pick him up and leave. Thank God that was the right medevac. He didn't quite lose all those Marines. That would have sucked, but just going to run back, and all these speedlings coming in, run right into the bunker, going to zip around, going to try and pick off some of this mirror line. There goes one. And
not going to get... Yeah, not going to get anywhere near what he needed to in terms of kills, but he knows about the tanks now, obviously, and going to try to react to that now. Spire is on the way; it's about halfway done, and Hive on the way as well. So we may see a transition to Broodlords. We'll see. Queen's obviously going to have to hold this for a while. 12 Zerglings are about all in terms of offensive units that are on the way, which means that pretty much, from what I can tell, Drewbie's just going to roll in here and take it. And Siege Mode has finished, so that's extra damage that Spanishiwa does not need against him right now. Zergling's, of course, very quick, but that splash damage is so effective. And Transfuse is going to have to hold this, but unfortunately Queens do not have enough for maybe 1 or 2, but that's about it. Marine's going to continue to just stem in here. Drones being pulled offline, never a good sign, and not looking good. Tanks from the back are taking these drones out due to splash damage. There's another transfusion, more Marines coming in now. And you can just see the follow-up forces moving in slowly. Third is down for Spanishiwa, but he's not being able to use Hive going down. That's not good. And he's just going to stem right through this. Going to try to take it. Zergling's rushing down to try to back something up. Can't quite get it. Queen's up on the high ground. Going to try to get something. Greater Spire coming in. That gets destroyed. There's the GG. We move on to game number 3.
See, I just don't know. I mean, I understand why he puts the Hive at the natural like that to get the extra hit points, but I don't know. I mean, that's a very risky thing to do, as we just noticed there. Because if he came in, I mean, once the Hive was dead, that was it. I mean, he was screwed at that point. So, just another part of his style. Take a few chances and hope to beef up that natural a little bit as far as hit points go, but I don't know if I like that style or not. That's a little bit too risky.
The major complaint I have with it is that you're spawning